Octane, Dominus, Breakout, Hybrid, Plank. Not long ago, the Egg Nations lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when the Merc attacked. The most elegant, delicate car of them all. Its beauty unparalleled in the Eggland. Today we rejoice, because the Merc has been given its very own hitbox. Yes indeed, my friends, it's been almost exactly 3 years since all cars were reduced to be one of 5 hitbox/handling presets, and now Psyonix has decided to go the other direction by adding one more. A small step for now, but maybe just a test with more cars to come if it goes well. Or maybe not, I do not have any insider information. So what about it? What did we get? An absolute chonker, or in more precise terms, the tallest hitbox in the game. It clocks in at 61.11 Unreal units when standing on its wheels, which is 10% higher than the Octane. That may not sound like too much, but height makes a big difference when chipping the ball. Looking at just the hitbox without the wheels, the 5.5 Unreal unit difference to the Octane is almost as big as the 6.8 Unreal unit difference between that and the Flatmobile. It's just a massive front area to hit the ball with. I am also pleased to report that the Merc went on a diet and lost 9% of its width. That makes it the narrowest preset in the game. And last, but yeah, also kinda least, the length has gone up by 2%. Putting it into a similar boat as the Octane, while all the other presets are 8 to 11% longer than that. The center of mass, around which the car rotates, is shifted slightly less backwards than in the Octane, and similarly downwards. That causes the Merc to have 1% less reach, despite being longer. Reach being the distance from the center of mass to the front. What will this mean in terms of gameplay? There are a couple of things. This is the best car for tight dribbles. Due to its height, it's simply able to push the ball to the side at higher speeds than any other preset. The narrow width may also be beneficial in dribbles, as you can get the ball to each side just a tiny bit faster. It could take some time to get used to that though. The extra height also makes bounce dribbles and wall touches without jumping easier. A large front of the hitbox is great for 50-50s and makes it easier to not drop an air dribble. I've mentioned enough benefits. I don't want the Merc haters disliking my video. Oh, hey, by the way, did you know that liking the video and subbing is free and helps me out a lot? Wow, that was smooth, right? Anyway, here is why the height and width is awful. It can be argued that the big front gives you less control over the ball's direction and makes it more like a wall that just pushes it. It changes chip shots, so you cannot get the ball as high in the air or as far off the wall. It makes you an easier demo target. It makes your flicks weaker. Side flip shots are easier to mess up. And worst of all, you don't look like a fancy Rocket League god. All jokes aside, I am by now pretty convinced that the advantages cannot outweigh the disadvantages for many players. Most of the disadvantages come down to specific hypothetical situations, where a shot that was barely possible is now literally impossible. Opposite to that, the advantages will help you with consistency in the most difficult situations. Which is where we always have a lot to improve on as human beings.
Because you're human, and I was human. I am human. Still.
Take that with a grain of salt, as that isn't a scientific fact. It's just my opinion based on personal observation. The Octane has similar disadvantages and advantages relative to all the other cars, and the Merc just takes it a step further. Only time will tell whether that may be too far. The only way to know if the hitbox preset is actually viable is to take a look at its handling. Handling in the air is always the same for all presets. Although the center of mass location can change things like reach, it won't change how fast you rotate. On the ground, acceleration and speed is always the same, but turning isn't. For that, we have to take a look at the wheels. The X and Y location was left identical to the Octane, but the front wheels are a bit larger. As such, the Merc performs essentially like the Octane, but slightly worse. It's within 2% in all my measured turning cases, but it should be noted that most presets are also only a few percentage points different. They have different characteristics though. If you want to know more about that, watch this video. Quick note, the Planck stats from that video are outdated and all the Planck hitbox cars now behave like the Batmobile. Should you play the Merc? I mean, look at it. How can you resist? And even if you don't like the Merc, you can piss off players by using the Fortnite Battle Bus. It's certainly worth a try. The Merc is a great match for its hitbox, and although I imagine it will take some time to get used to having such a narrow and high hitbox, it can be a perfect fit for many playstyles. And now go smack some balls with it or something.